Hi everybody, welcome to another week of Makers Monday. I am Anastasia Radloff, aka a Stampa Blondie, and I hope you guys are ready to kick off the week with some fun, above it all projects. Now let me just make sure that I'm live here on Facebook. If you're watching, make sure to comment, say hi, let me know where you're joining from. If you're watching this live over on my YouTube channel, make sure to say hi and comment along that you're watching over there. So it looks like I am live over on Facebook, but let me just make sure I'm live on YouTube as well. Looks like I am. There we go. So I hope you all, like I said, had an amazing weekend. It's finally starting to feel like fall here in Tucson. We had some amazing weather this weekend. This morning when I went to work, it was like 65 degrees outside. So it's the perfect fall weather and I'm very, very excited. Hi, Dawn. How are you? Hi, Veronica. On my Facebook page this afternoon or earlier this morning, I shared with you two fall photos. A couple weeks ago, while I was making my autumn leaves project, I shared that one of the things that I missed from living in Iowa and growing up in the Midwest is the fall leaves. And my mom has these two beautiful, a tree and a bush in her yard, and they would get this very vibrant red. And she shared with me those photos this morning of what it looked like, and I miss it so, so much. I miss being able to wear sweatshirts and hoodies and just being able to, cozy up under a blanket and really enjoy fall. But alas, I am here in Tucson and it's starting to cool off just a little. It's not 110 degrees outside anymore, but I hope wherever you are, you're getting to enjoy some fall weather. Hi, Nancy. Hello, Diana. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Thanks for watching. All right, today we're going to be creating 3 projects featuring the Above It All bundle. This is from the September through December mini catalog. It's actually one of the first ones when I did my demonstrator pre-order. I know I've said it a couple times on different bundles. When I was going through the catalog, it's one of the first items that I added from my demonstrator pre-order. So that initial demonstrator pre-order order that I got, this was in there because I love how you can make scenery projects with this and just all around fun projects and cards. All right, so let's go ahead and swap the camera. I hope I have a couple of things to go over and then we will jump right into our projects here today. The first thing I wanted to share is I love getting cards from my crafty friends, and one of the things that I received earlier is you guys know every week I do something called Prize Patrol, and I give out some crafting supplies and little goodies on that. But Carol Schaefer recently was a winner of one of my prize patrols, and she won the Just My Type stamp set. And she sent me a card that she created with the stamp set, and I wanted to share it with you all because it is such a lovely card and I love the way this turned out. It looks like she used a sweet sorbet for this project, but a fun way for the Just My Type stamp set, if you have that set and you're looking to use it a little more, this is a great layout for that. So thank you so much, Carol. I adore this project, and she even wrote me a little note inside and that I can use the card for something else. So thank you so much, Carol. I was very happy to receive that in the mail. I like getting some happy mail from stuff that you guys use with your Prize Patrol items. All right, next up, tomorrow is the last day to take advantage of the Stampin' Up! Anniversary Starter Kit promotion. Normally, our starter kit is $125 worth of your choice in products for $99. But because it is Stampin' Up's 35th anniversary, they are doing a starter kit promotion where you get to choose which kind of starter kit you like. Hi, Carol. I hope you were able to jump on and you got to see I shared your fun card that you made for me. Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope you got to see that little shout out, but if not, you'll have to go back and watch it because I gave you some really fun shout outs for that project that you made me from your prize patrol. So thank you. So starter kit promotion. So this runs until the end of tomorrow. And what it is you have two choices for your starter kit promotion. You can have 35% off of your kit or 35% more for your kit. So the 35% off, you get to choose $125 worth in your choice of product, and it is only $64.35. So that is a steal. $64 for $125 worth of your choice and product. That's awesome. The next one, $35 or 35% more, you get to choose $168 worth of product for only $99. So almost, $70 there-ish about for extra supplies, and that is amazing. So why would you want to join the Stampin' Blondie team? I have a little info here. So we are a welcoming community for all demonstrators, no matter what skill level you are. Now, I always want to remind you that signing up with Stampin' Up, you are not required to teach classes. You are not required to host events. You are not required to sell to your friends, family, anybody. You can simply order for yourself and receive a discount on your crafting supplies. You're gonna order those supplies anyways, why not get them at a 20% discount? Now we have monthly team gatherings. For those here in Tucson, we do in-person events. Those that aren't in Tucson, no matter where you live across the United States, you're still welcome. We do a virtual team meeting each month with make and take projects and business training for those that are wanting that avenue for their demonstratorship. All of my class tutorials, I repeat, all of my class tutorials are free for my Stampin' Blondie team members. I have a private link on my website that you enter a password and you can print off all of my projects that I have had in classes over the past year. And I offer support for both business-minded demonstrators, but also those that are interested in just doing this as a hobby. Those that I like to deem happy shoppers, you get a discount on your supplies, and there's no pressure for me to sell or teach classes. So we welcome all on the Stampin' Blondie team, no matter what your skill level is. I will let you know, when I first started as a demonstrator, I had no intentions of teaching classes. I just did this because the closest craft store to me was over an hour away, and I wanted everything sent to my house without having to go out to the craft store and everything coordinated. So that was a big plus for me. All right, next up, the November Club Craft and Create deadline to register for this is coming up in a week, November 8th. We are featuring the Stars at Night stamp set, and the bundle actually is a 3-piece bundle. So you get a hybrid embossing folder. Hybrid means that some of these dies fit in the embossing folder, so you can die cut and emboss at the exact same time. The die set and the stamp set. This is a photopolymer stamp set, meaning completely see-through and clear. You can see exactly where you're stamping. And we are going to be featuring some fun, very vanilla Night of Navy and this gold designer series paper. So these are the projects that you will be creating. You'll create 8 projects, 2 each of 4 different designs. Everything is included in your kit minus the stamp set or the bundle. So you can always add that on to your class kit. Some people may already have it, so I don't include any stamps in my class kits. But all of your paper embellishments, designer series paper will all be cut and ready for you to assemble. So this is November's Club Craft and Create. This is our last month of creating holiday projects. I always like to finalize all my holiday projects in November so that by December, when the craziness of the season kicks in, you are all ready to go and your projects are made. Like I said, deadline to register is November 8th for that. Link in the description of this video for more details on that class and how to register. All right, Prize Patrol. I kind of mentioned Prize Patrol a little bit earlier when we talked about Carol's beautiful project. Last week's Prize Patrol was the Scenic Garden stamp set. This is a cling mount stamp set, meaning traditional red rubber, and a set of 5, perfect for coloring with Stampin' Blends, Stampin' Write markers, watercolor pencils, or whatever color kind of medium you prefer. The winner of that is Maggie Burkhart. So congratulations, Maggie. I do not have your address. So if you could send me a private message with your address, I will get that into the mail for you. This week's Prize Patrol is a package of the Garden Walk 6x6 Designer Series paper. A full package. This has colors of, why can't I think of it? This one right here, Calypso Coral. Calypso Coral, Garden Green, some Lost Lagoon in here. Very beautiful Designer Series paper, and kind of more spring toned. I was surprised to see this in our holiday catalog, but still a fun prize. So all you have to do is share this video, comment that you shared, and you'll be entered into Prize Patrol this week. All right, so today we are featuring projects with the Above It All stamp set. This is, actually it's a bundle. This stamp set and die bundle, let me grab it here. It is photopolymer stamps, completely see-through and clear, and it includes 12 stamps in the kit here, or the stamp set. If you follow me, you know I love stamp sets that also have sentiments that go with it. All together, one and done, so you don't have to pull any other stamp sets to go with this. And I really liked this stamp set because if you don't know, I lived in Italy for 4 years, and this little gondola here would remind me of the Alps, and they had the little gondolas to go up and you could ski or view a city. So this reminded me of Italy and Europe, so I had to get this, of course. I also like the sentiment, the let's adventure together. Not really your traditional holiday sentiment, but that's great because you can use the stamp set kind of all year round. So this is found on page 40 of our September through December mini catalog, and then you can see right there some fun projects. Now, yesterday on my Facebook page and blog, I shared with you this project. This features everything from that bundle, and I kind of created my own little gondola here. We've got this snowy scenery, which is a die in the stamps or the die set, so you can create this big thing here. But the best part about that is that it's not only just for snow, because on one of our other projects, we're going to use it as like a mountainside. Now, this type of card is called a slim line card. I will be honest, this was my first slim line card I've ever made. I know they're kind of a very popular design, but I've just never made one before, and so I wanted to give it a try. My inspiration, which is the perfect place to find ideas for projects, is actually the catalog. So here is the project from the catalog. Oh, let me bring this down so you can see the whole card. So here's the project from the catalog, and here is my rendition of the card. I changed a couple of things because I wanted it to look a little different, but I used the catalog as inspiration for my project, and we're gonna make that one here today. So my very first slimline project I've ever created, we're gonna do here with Makers Monday. Now, this is not one of the Makers Monday projects, but I just wanted to show you how you can use this bundle for other projects. Here is another one. This features the same Designer Series paper that I'm going to use on some of the other projects, as well as this like Flurries one. This is called A Walk in the Forest Designer Series paper, and it's from the September through December mini catalog as well. So just another way to use the project. This one is not a Makers Monday card, but I just wanted to show you guys that. All right, so we're gonna make the slimline card, and then we're also gonna make these other two projects here. I wanted to make this project traditional Christmas without being so much Christmas. We have some pink here. That's not your traditional Christmas, but it's still fun with these evergreen trees. And then this one with that Walk in the Forest Designer Series paper and the gondola doing the Let's Adventure Together sentiment on there. All right, now don't forget, each week you can get these projects in a class kit to go. If you place an order of $35 on my website using the host code that's shown on the screen, I will send you the project pieces to create our 3 Makers Monday projects. Now this is what they look like when they come to you. They have all the project pieces in here as well as the free project PDF tutorial. If you place an order of $50 or more, I'll send you the embellishment of the week that I'm highlighting. And that is going to be this new, it is the white 1/2-inch iridescent ribbon. So we'll be using that on 2 of our projects. This slimline one, I felt like it didn't need a ribbon. But if you place an order of $50 or more, you'll get a full roll of that ribbon in your class kit. All right, let's go ahead and get started. We are gonna work on our green project here first. So let me grab the kit for that one. So this one we have, I wanted to share with you, don't forget, free project PDF tutorial on my website, stampandblondie.com. You can print this out on my Makers Monday post. It has all of the item names, numbers, prices, and the dimensions for the project. So if you're wanting to make that slimline card, that is on there as well. All right, we have a piece of old olive cardstock, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Let me grab my bone folder here. And we're just gonna crisp up that line and kind of put that off to the side. We have a piece of that Walk in the Forest Designer Series paper. Now I wanted to show you guys this in the catalog. Where did my catalog go? This is not one of our traditional Designer Series papers. It is all the way on, right when you open the catalog, it's right here at the front, Walk in the Forest. $3 of every organization, or of every purchase of this will go to support, I think it was, what's the thing, the Marines, Toys for Tots? I think that's the one for this. But $3 of every package sold will go to an organization dedicated to spreading cheer and providing support for those in need. So a very fun Designer Series paper. The best part about this little bear coordinates with that bear punch that we have. So if you have the polar bear punch, that is the same size. So that's that Designer Series paper. We also have another piece of old olive cardstock, Flirty Flamingo, and Petal Pink. Like I said, not your traditional Christmas colors, but we're gonna create a fun project with this. All right, I've got my piece of scratch paper here because we are gonna do some stamping and it may get off the edge. So we're gonna use this, I call it an evergreen. It looks like an evergreen tree. It may be something else because it's kind of just scratch etched, but we'll call it an evergreen tree. And we're gonna use tuxedo black ink for this one. So not any fancy colored ink, just traditional black. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna start on the right side and stamp. And without re-inking, we're going to then stamp again. And this one will just be a little bit lower than our previous one. So that's gonna give us that depth of our trees without having to do any fancy techniques with stamping off. You just work your way down the tree line, alternating high and low, and then you'll get dark and light trees. Great. Yes, Courtney, Toys for Tots is awesome. They have some donation bins here on base when they, when it gets closer to Christmas and stuff, and it's such a great organization. All right, my last tree here. Now, like I said, I think it's Toys for Tots. I'll have to double check, but if I remember, that's what the organization was. All right, so we have our tree line there. And next we're gonna stamp our sentiment that says, here's to a season full of cheer. And we can put this off to the side. We're gonna stamp that onto our piece of petal pink. Now, this card is a great way to kind of get rid of some of those scraps. I know we've been doing a lot of projects like that recently where you can use these scraps of paper up. So if you have some of these smaller pieces and you're not exactly sure what to do with them, these scraps are perfect size for all of your sentiments. And there we go. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna trim off some of the edge here. This side is gonna be straight and this side is gonna be cut at an angle. There we go. And what I'm gonna do, get that out of the way, is, where did my glue go? Right here. We're gonna use some liquid glue on the back. I'm using the liquid glue because this isn't a very big area and I want to make sure that I get this lined up perfectly with the liquid glue. I have a few seconds to kind of move my paper around and get it exactly where I want it to be for the project. So this Flirty Flamingo was again another scrap. So this is lined up on the right edge and all we're gonna do is trim this side at an angle too to match that. And there's our sentiment piece. Very, very easy to create. All right, we're gonna adhere our trees to our piece of Designer Series paper. And for that, I am just going to use my Stampin' Seal. And I'm almost out of this, so I have a refill on standby, ready to change it out when it's good to go. So this will go on to here. All right, the back of that is gonna go on with dimensionals. Don't forget, you can use all of these little pieces around the edge. I love these extra little pieces because sometimes you need a straight dimensional. And these work just as well as the regular hexagon shaped ones. Now because this is a little bit bigger piece, I'm gonna add a dimensional in the middle to kind of hold it down and not let it sag in the middle. And there we go. And this is gonna go on our piece of Old Olive. And then our sentiment, I'm gonna add on with liquid glue. That'll line up with our Designer Series paper. And our ribbon. We're just gonna tie this into a knot, not a bow on this one. So you only need a little piece, just enough to be, I think this is too small to tie into a knot. Yeah, that's too small. Just enough to be able to tie your ribbon into a knot. So we're going, this is 1/2 inch ribbon, so it's a little wider than some of our others, but trim that. There. And this ribbon is really good to adhere with glue dots. You don't have to worry about any liquid glue kind of oozing through it. While it's not mesh ribbon, it's just like iridescent. It's it's not smooth. It has like that kind of gritty feeling to it, but you don't want to put with liquid glue. Glue dots are your best choice for this. And there is our first project today with the Above It All bundle. So I hope you guys like this one. Like I said, I had to do a Christmas card. It's starting to get that season. And of course, this bundle is more towards the wintry scenes, but I wanted to create something that wasn't your full-on traditional Christmas colors. So hope you guys like that one. Of course, I had to add a little bit of pink on there for some pop. All right, our next project, we're gonna work on this one here. This is our Pretty Peacock card. This has that Walk in the Forest Designer Series paper on it as well. And we're gonna do some die cutting with this one. So the best part about these dies is that they do fit in the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, so that's what we're going to be using today. I have a piece of Pretty Peacock cardstock, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, in our piece of Designer Series paper. Now before we add this to our card, we're going to wrap some of this iridescent ribbon across the front. So we're going to cut our piece just enough to be able to have some ribbon on the back side. And we're going to use our trusty tape dispenser. This is Goldie. Goldie is my Dachshund tape dispenser, very fitting for a Dachshund owner. And Goldie was named by one of my team members, so she will always have the name of Goldie. All right, so I'm using Scotch tape on the back. Nobody's gonna see the back of your card. It is a quick drying adhesive. You don't really have to wait for anything to dry at all. And then we have our strip of ribbon right across the front. Now we can adhere that down to our card base. And because we have that ribbon on the back, I am going to use Stampin' Seal. Normally, I would use my liquid glue just to make sure everything is lined up, but I want to make sure this is really stuck down with that ribbon back there. So we will use Stampin' Seal. And then we have some iridescent ribbon there on the front. I've pre-die cut already just to kind of save a little bit of time here today. This is from the Stylish Shapes dies. This is the largest circle die that is in that die set. Ooh. I got a tickle in my throat. Good thing I have some water here. We are going to use a blending brush and Pretty Peacock ink. Now, I like to designate my blending brushes, 1 per color. They do come in packs of 3, but you can easily wash these and reuse them for multiple colors. I just like to have them designated for 1 color because then I don't have to wait for my brushes to dry and I can just move on with my projects. So Pretty Peacock and our blending brush. Now, if you've never worked with blending brushes before, let's get this here. I always like to have my workspace covered with that. And even though I'm not blending off the paper like I will be in another project, I like to have this scrap paper because you want to kind of tap your blending brush onto the paper just lightly, and it gets that top layer of ink off your brush so it's not so harsh when you put it down on your project. So then we're just going to rub a little bit of ink there in the middle. That's just so it's not so white. I just want to be able to have a little pop of color there in the background. I think I did this one probably too dark, so we're just gonna do a little bit of ink on that one. Like I said, I didn't need that to really cover my workspace. It was more to have a scrap paper so I could tap my brush on it before I worked on it. All right, let's stamp our gondola. So this is just a scratch piece of, again, scratch piece of paper, Pretty Peacock, and we're gonna just cut this out so it'll fit through my machine here. Again, this whole die set is really good for scraps because you have all these little pieces to work with and it's great. Courtney may have to get some just so I can put some blends to it too. I love my blending brushes. Like I said, just I designate certain ones for certain colors and then I can move on. Okay, we're gonna stamp the outside, the gondola part here with our Pretty Peacock ink, just on Pretty Peacock cardstock. So we have tone on tone here. And then while this is open, I'm also going to stamp my sentiment. And it says, "Let's adventure together." Scrap piece of white and right there. And now we can put our ink pad away for that. I need to get my scrub out because we're gonna need this on a future project. So let me clean off my gondola stamp really quick. There we go. Okay, die cutting. So Courtney, I took your suggestion from last time. I put all my dies. I had this little bowl. I had a bunch of other stuff in it. So we're gonna use the little die bowl. This is, if you have a automotive store or a Harbor Freight around you, this is just a little automotive magnetic bowl that you can put your dies in, and then you know exactly where they are. So we're going to die cut the gondola, and I'm gonna definitely use washi tape because I want this to be lined up and stay exactly where I have it, because when you run it through the machine, it could move it around. So you want it right, that is a dead piece of washi tape. So you just want to keep it in place here. Now I'm also going to die cut at the same time this piece. This is like the piece that connects to the wires. So we're going to die cut that as well. I don't need washi tape for that part because I'm not stamping anything ahead of time. I'm just going to die cut it out of cardstock. All right, so open up our mini machine, get our plates out. We're gonna put our gondola there, and then this little connector piece, and run this through the machine here. Okay, get all this out of the way. There we go. All right, so we have the stamped gondola piece. Now with washi tape, you just want to be really careful. It can rip your paper. It is paper tape, so you just want to be very careful. And there is our little die cut, the carriage part of the gondola. And then we have the connector piece. Now a tip, that first card that I showed you, this one right here, what I did is I die cut 2 of these little gondola pieces, one Night of Navy, one white. And all of these little pieces I kept from the white one. I flipped it over and I put all the little white pieces back in here to fill in the windows, and then I just added a piece of Scotch tape on the back. So that's how I did the little window portion of this. You just have to cut out 2 of the little gondolas, and then you have the windows that are in white and the little car in blue. All right, we are going to glue this little, I don't even know what that's called, but the thing that connects to the wires. We're gonna glue this to the front, just right there, little teeny tiny amount of liquid glue. And that's gonna connect to the front of the car. So now we have this whole piece. This we're gonna glue to our circle, and I'm just gonna add glue to the car portion because the thing that's connected to the wires, that is gonna hang off the edge. So there we go. And we can assemble the rest. So the back of our gondola piece, we're gonna add dimensionals, and I'm popping that up because of our piece of ribbon here. We are just gonna add dimensionals to the top and bottom. So it'll go right across that ribbon piece there. Our Let's Adventure Together, we're gonna add glue to the back of the sentiment here and a dimensional on the opposite side. And that's so it's all the same across the front here. And that'll help glue down that piece. And then we're gonna take our ribbon as the final bit, and we're gonna tie this into a bow, and we're gonna connect it to the front to make it look like it was tied using that strip of ribbon across the front, but we're just going to adhere it down with glue dots. So like I said, this is a little bit of a wider ribbon, so it's a little more difficult to tie into a bow. Usually the wider the ribbon, the harder it is, but there we go. I just want to make that one a little smaller and trim at an angle. This ribbon does fray very easily at the end, so you definitely want to cut it at an angle just to help it not fray as often. All right, our glue dots, we're gonna add to our ribbon, and this is gonna go right in the middle of that ribbon across the front. So there, and one more glue dot right there. So that is our second project today with the Above It All bundle. Really fun. Like I said, let's adventure together. You can use this card all winter long. It doesn't just have to be for a Christmas themed project. You could use this as a Valentine's Day card too. Let's adventure together if you are wanting to go on a trip, or give this to somebody that you like to do adventures with. This is a really fun project. So this is our second one. I hope you guys like this one. You could use it as a non-traditional Valentine's Day card. So speaking of Valentine's Day, I got to pre-order as a demonstrator a suite from the upcoming January to April mini catalog, and let me tell you, I'm very excited about it. I got it already. I've made projects with it already. It is very, very cute, and it will, depending on inventory levels, it'll be January's Club Craft and Create, so I'm very excited about it. All right, our last project. Where did it go? So I can show you right here. This is my first slimline card. I have to put it on the table so you guys can see it all the way in view here. Now, if you've never made a slimline card before, obviously this doesn't fit in a traditional sized envelope, but those long envelopes that, you know, you get your bills in, the mail in, those longer ones, this will fit into that. So if you have letter sized envelopes, this will work perfectly, and you can mail that to somebody. So my card here, traditionally there's 3 different sizes for slimline cards. I am using one that is 7 inches by 8.5, and so mine is scored at 3.5. So when I fold it here, my slimline card will be 3.5 by 8.5. So here is my slimline card, and I just used a piece of basic white cardstock for mine. You can use basic white thick cardstock, you can use regular basic white cardstock, any colored cardstock, but I'm just using regular basic white for mine here. I have a piece of balmy blue cardstock, and we are going to do some ink coloring on this. So just like my last project, we're going to use our blending brush and Misty Moonlight ink this time. And you definitely want to make sure your workspace is covered for this one. So as you can see, I did a little inking around the top just so it's not so plain blue. I wanted to give it a little kind of dimension to the project, and if I had left it like stark blue, it just would kind of look kind of boring. So I decided to do some inking here. Let's switch that so I don't ink the project. So with your blending brush, again, swirl it in your ink pad, kind of tap it onto the side, and you're gonna work off the paper first and then swirl right onto your paper. Now with blending brushes, the color is buildable. So the more ink you add, the darker the color will get. So I am doing more darker on the outsides because I want it to look kind of like a night scene. So around the edges here, I know you don't really ride the gondolas at night because you can't see anything then, but it's still, maybe you can consider it to be cloud cover. So we're just blending that Misty Moonlight on. And with this, You can blend a whole variety of ink colors together to make a whole background on your card, but for this project, we're just going to use Misty Moonlight. There we go. Just to give it a little bit of something in the background there. Okay, now we're going to do some die cutting. So we're going to bring in, let me grab all my, I have a whole bunch of scraps of white, which we're going to use. So we have this, we're gonna stamp our first gondola and the little attachment piece. This is gonna be a Moody Mauve. So we need this and this one here. And I'm gonna trim this down just a little bit so that I can run this through the die cut machine at the same time. Let me make sure this fits. Perfect. Right. Hopefully my dogs don't go crazy. My husband just pulled into the driveway. Sometimes they go crazy when he gets home. All right, Moody Mauve, and we're gonna stamp that. And this little hanging down piece for the gondola as well. There. And I'm gonna clean off my stamps, and we're gonna do the same thing with Lost Lagoon. Close that up, clean this off, and then we're going to do the same thing. So Lost Lagoon, I really like the color combination of Moody Mauve and Lost Lagoon. I'm not a big dusty pink fan, but I liked the Moody Mauve with the two colors together. All right, and this little hook piece there. We're also on this same piece, we're going to stamp two of these trees here. So these little trees, just like that first project we did, we're gonna do a full on stamp with Garden Green ink. And then without re-inking, we're gonna stamp a second one. So then we have our two variations of our project here. Okay, all of that can go over here because we are done with that. All right, we're gonna die cut this really quick. So we've got our gondola piece here. And because of the way I have these laid out, I can die cut the tree, the gondola, and that little hanging piece all at the same time. And then we do it one more time with the second color. Now this little piece that hangs down, I will show you when it comes out of the machine what it looks like, because the first time I die cut it, I was confused why the die wasn't lining up exactly how I wanted it. So let me run it through and I will show you. So we have our mini machine, our plates here, all three dies that we're gonna die cut at the same time. The crunching and cracking is totally fine. That is supposed to do that. Now we're just gonna lift up and pop out these pieces and keep our washi tape on there for that. All right, so this little piece, you'll notice when I pop it out here, that there's this extra bit of basic white showing down here at the bottom. That is so you can connect it to the gondola with, and it still has that little piece of ink showing through. So that is supposed to be like that. And I'll show you when I go to glue it together why it's very helpful. All right, so we have that lined up. Our tree is already on there. And then this little piece lined up one last time. Somebody is riding their dirt bike, I think, up and down my street. So hopefully it's not too loud for you guys. Great. There we go. One last die cut for this part. Okay, so pop out our gondola, our little piece here. There we go. Our tree. And before I put the plates away, we are gonna use this really big die here. So let me get the paper. We're going to die cut this little bottom hill slope here. So I'm using crumb cake paper, again, just a scrap, and I'm gonna add that to the scrap paper, hold it down with some washi tape. And even though this isn't die cutting a stamped image, I'm holding it down with washi tape because I don't want it to move around on that scrap. It's only so big. This is gonna make a lot of noise. Or not. When I die cut it yesterday, it was really loud, like crack, crack, crack. But apparently that paper didn't make a lot of noise. So here is our sloped piece. There we go. Oh, can't throw a tree away. And there we go. So now we're gonna glue all of these pieces together. So remember I mentioned that little piece of extra basic white at the bottom. We're gonna add a tiny amount of liquid glue, and this will help glue it right to the gondola car. And you can still see that little bit of ink at the top there. So very cute to put that together, and it doesn't cover up that little bottom piece of the hanging part. There we go. Let those kind of sit over there. Right, we're going to adhere this now to our card base, but we want to add our slope of crumb cake. So we just want to add a little bit of liquid glue, not to the whole thing because most of this is going to get cut off. So down here is our glue, and I can add a little bit more glue on here. So you just line that up towards the bottom, and then we can snip off the remainder so it's flush with the mat. All right, we're gonna add, oh, we need to stamp before we do that. So we've got our 2 cables for the cable car, and we're going to take our trees and move them there, our 2 pieces. So this stamp set has this really long stamp for the 2 lines for the cables, and we're gonna use Memento ink on this. So we're gonna ink up this whole thing. And where's my scrap? There we go. You wanna use your scrap paper because it's not gonna ink up the whole part. So we're just gonna stamp our first gondola cables and this little track part. So I'm gonna pull it just so I can see right where I'm stamping. There we go. We're gonna add on our first cable car. And that will connect right there. Okay. Our next cables, and that'll be going this way. And this little cable piece. What size block is this? This is a block I really use. I think it's I. Yes, it's clear block I. So I hardly ever use this clear block size, but for these long stamps, you'll need that because it will not fit on clear block E. If you have clear block F, which is our huge clear block, it'll fit on that, but this is clear block I, so you'll need that one. All right, our next little track and our gondola. Here. There we go. We'll add our trees. Oh, let me close up our ink pad before I get ink everywhere. And our first tree is gonna be the lightest one. So we'll add that on here. And then we'll overlap the darker one just a little bit. There. Right, our sentiment piece, again, scrap basic white. This is a great card for all the scraps. We're gonna use Misty Moonlight ink and their sentiment that says warm winter wishes. Now, if you really wanted to step this card up even more, you can use like a white gel pen and you can draw little snowflakes. Oh, the A in that didn't work all the way. Let's flip it and try again on this side. So yeah, you can use a white gel pen and draw on little snowflakes, or you can use a snowflake embossing folder. But if you want to just kind of leave it the way it is, you can do that too. And this one we're going to trim at an angle on both sides. Just a small one, because this piece, our sentiment piece, isn't very big. And that's going to go on with dimensionals. And on the lower portion of our card, we're going to flip this over, add our glue, and this will go onto our card front. Now, if you're wanting to mail this card, just a bit of advice, you may want to move your gondolas so they don't hang off the edge as much, like I know mine do. So you can kind of bring them in a little bit more, but your envelope may also accommodate this hanging off size here as well. So just whatever you want to do for that. Now, as a final touch, we're going to embellish with some rhinestones. I didn't want to add ribbon to this because I felt like it was just going to take away too much from the look of this slimline card. So let's get some of this out of the way so you can see the whole card, and then we'll do some embellishments. So we've got, I'm going to have 3 rhinestone things open here because I've got all different sizes on these. So we've got a medium one and a small rhinestone up here in the corner. We've got another medium rhinestone here and a small one kind of above it there. 2 more small ones down here. And then one last small one down there. And that is my last project today with the Above It All bundle featuring my very first slimline card. So I hope you like this one. Yes, Courtney says a white craft ink refill, aqua painter to flick the snow. You can use a Wink of Stella brush to flick the snow and give it some sparkle and shine. So there's quite a variety of ways to do the white snowfall on here. But I hope you guys like this. I had really fun making a slimline card. Like I said, I've never made one this size. I used my catalog for inspiration and I wanted to recreate that card because I liked it so much. So I hope you guys like this project too. Very fun if you like more of the detailed types of cards. All right, let's bring in all 3 of our cards here today. We have our slimline card, our pretty peacock, Adventure Together, and our old olive card. Let me know in the comments which one was your favorite today. I think we know which one is mine. The slimline card, very fun, sleek, different size, perfect for giving money. If you want to give somebody a money project or a money card, you could put some gift cards in here, all sizes, it's all fun. So let me know which one is your favorite here today. I hope you like all of them, but I'm sure you have a favorite as well. All right, well, thank you everybody for joining me for another week of Makers Monday. Next week, we kick off my Christmas crafting series. So from all of November, I'll be making Christmas projects until the beginning of December, a couple weeks in there, and then we'll be all done with Christmas and moving on to 2024, where we will start Valentine's Day projects. I really hope you guys enjoyed my projects today. I look forward to seeing you next week. Don't forget, if you are wanting this week's card class to go, place an order of $35 on my website by Thursday, midnight Arizona time, using the host code posted, and I will send you these project supplies in the mail for free. Place a $50 order or more and I will send you a roll of this iridescent iridescent ribbon. So I hope you guys liked that ribbon there as well. And don't forget, the starter kit promotion ends tomorrow as well. I look forward to seeing you guys. Until next time, have a great week.